Okay. Well, Happy New Year, 30/31, 2023 in effect. So, I don't know, thought I'd come out again. It's looking kind of gloomy today. The snow has melted. New Year's Day, so the traffic's gonna be really light. So I'm just gonna bomb around on the side streets. No snow, no slush. And maybe go check out my old trails. The trails, the summer trails. Go to Bell Park, see what kind of accessibility we have. I also greased my chain and cable, shifting cable and component with 3-in-1 oil, and that looks like it's going to have to be a regular winter riding thing, because the chain, you start seeing the rust and shifting becomes difficult. Brakes are perfectly fine, but those are both new cables and they're not being affected. Unusual temperature though, like we had a real 4 days of mild weather, which kind of helped cleared everything up, but it's going to refreeze, and these snowbanks are going to be permanent and they're going to be hard. They're going to be like, so there's going to be a lot of that shortly, as soon as this freezes over, like tomorrow. So it's really important for the cities to come out and clear out the sidewalks like fast as possible and prevent this from becoming rock hard with snowbanks and windrows and other piles of snow like that. That's gonna, because we don't really often get deep thaws like that at this time of the year. It's like an unusual weather pattern that we've had, definitely. I think all of North America has been hit by that. And we just so happens to be that our region didn't really get much. You see here, I gotta jump the we didn't get that much snow, but it certainly warmed up. So I'm gonna go through this tunnel here. Bike's riding great. I gotta say that the Bafang system is just solid, very, very good, very solid. I'm very impressed because it has shown absolutely no dip, no inconsistency in performance throughout, going from fall to, well, summer, fall and winter. It's been consistent the whole time. It was just a little bit wonky when I first installed it. I think it was a kind of a break-in period. I shorted out the wires because the connection wasn't very good. I may have broken the connection while installing it, which was causing it to arc. Because I could actually hear it, and I have some of my earlier videos. One of them, the motor shuts down, and when I went to trace the problem, one of my connectors had melted, and it was gapped. Like, well, it melted, and I know from my with electricity, when it starts to arc like that, it just creates a lot of fucking heat. And so I just cut those connectors right out and just did an automotive crimp style. which is way better. I mean, you know, like what you'd use for installing audio equipment. I think the audio cables, like in car stereo shops, are the best alternative to fix. You know, if you got to deal with motor to battery interface or cabling, just go to an automotive stereo shop and get what they use, and just splice it in with crimp and shrink. Got to use the shrink for sure. Shrink is you put that over the connector, and then you take a heat gun, or maybe, I don't know if a hairdryer will work, or even a lighter or a torch, and just shrink the plastic onto the connector so that it's isolated. Because not only is it, you have to get a good solid connection with a fairly thick wire, like a speaker wire would be fine, or like for subwoofers. As the power range is in the same region, 750 watts, you know, out of a motor, 750 watt driver out of a speaker, same kind of electrical properties. Yeah. So we'll see how the bike paths are, if they're being, and footpaths, if they're being maintained. I hope they are. It would be nice if they are. Oh, this is where I gotta go. I gotta go this way. Okay. And one thing I'm noticing right now is that the speed is increased. Just from the rolling resistance, like I'm not putting very much effort into it, and I'm hitting the top speed of the motor, and I have it set so that it powers down as it gets closer to the top. Meaning, you know, so the fact that it's going, it's almost reaching its top speed means that there's a low rolling resistance. So we'll just see where this takes us. Hello. Hi. Doesn't look like it's, I mean, the footpath, but you see there's still snow in the middle. This is melted. I don't think it doesn't look like there's any maintenance being done to these side trails with the sidewalk plows. I mean, that would be quite an expense, but if you want to make your municipality bike friendly, it kind of, you almost have to do that. I mean, obviously there's not enough guys like me bombing around to justify. I'm not really disappointed with that, because it just, you know, I mean, there's not enough people doing e-biking to justify clearing out trails. Maybe in a couple of years. We're catching snowflakes, eh? Yeah. All right. But one of the cool things about Sudbury, like, I kind of like this town for a couple of reasons, but one of them is that it really is an example of environmentalism working. Like, I know it says no bicycles, but I'm just going to the lookout. Semi-frozen lake. Not thick enough to go on yet. Somebody walked across it recently. But this ice is melted. It's frozen and then remelted, so there's water's bubbling up. There's going to be some thin spots. Nobody's been crazy enough to take their snow machine across it yet, although they can fucking float on water. But I don't even know if they allow snow machines on this lake. I'm pretty sure they do. All right. I was tempted. I was going to go down the pass, but that's all the rules. Truck. See, that path up there is not maintained. There's a miner's monument up here, which is pretty cool. And you know, like, I've been on Twitter. Twitter is interesting now because I got the blue check mark and my engagement went up big time. And even my riding videos, like, I've always had a hard time. I've never really been able to get proper engagement, and I never really tried that hard either. But getting back on Twitter and with all the excitement and then, you know, the fun that I'm having with these ride videos, I was just doing them just for fun, and now suddenly I'm getting more exposure. You know, it just makes sense to kind of continue on doing this just because I enjoy doing it. But one of the things I'm running into with Twitter and some of the narratives that are a bit weird is like this mining in the Congo is just terrible. Artesian mining, absolutely horrible. Now here we have a culture, or you know, a background in Sudbury of mining nickel, and all of these metals that are needed for EV, they're available. We can mine them using our Canadian technology. And just to give you an idea how advanced it's become, this whole area, okay, you notice the trees are not, they're young trees. This is a new growth. This was all black. This was poisoned by heavy metals and sulfur. So I think sulfur was the main culprit, which just basically killed the surroundings to the point where across this lake over here, which is, you know, a good 20 miles from the smelter, the NASA people train their astronauts on you know, to walk, or no, to train their astronauts because it's like a lunar landscape. And we're still the mines are still open, but the difference is the technology to clean the air coming out of the smelters it works, and that created a regreening, which started in the mid-90s. I'm finding out more about this because it's interesting. But in the mid-90s, or no, I'm not sure. I think it was in the 80s or the 90s. They started the process of cleaning and regreening, and I think they finished in the 90s, late 90s. And this is the result. Now you have wonderful diversity of trees that are just. The nature didn't seem to be harmed. Well, I should say be harmed. Sure, but I mean, it didn't take long for it to bounce back, is what I'm saying. And this is the result. You know, I'm gonna stay away from this. You know, it's beautiful out here. And then also the Sudbury Basin is a meteorite impact, asteroid impact, very large one, billions of years ago. So the rock, you know, has all of the characteristics of this impact. which geologists would find very interesting, no doubt. Young pup. So I'll go back to where I came from and see, like, this rock here. But really the point is behind the narratives of mining and sustainability and all that. It is absolutely possible. And if you ask me, like, my opinion on that, for the problems in Africa and Congo and lithium and cobalt mining, which could be mined elsewhere, or if you want to mine, of course it could be mined there, but just outlaw the artesian. Make it mandatory that mining companies can go in there. As distasteful as that can be, it really is a much better alternative. Like, just open the bids, put out the guidelines, use a Sudbury as a standard. This would be an ideal standard to use for sustainable mining around the world for the metals needed to fuel this electric vehicle, electric bike, low carbon emission was another thing that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. And problem solved. That's really what it is. Like, and what I mean by using the Sudbury standard, I mean, absolutely sustainable operations. And what you get is a whole bunch of workers. You get people that become trained into, mechanics and millwright and mining. Mining industry just really does a lot. I mean, I know we live it. I mean, everyone here is, a lot of wealthy people are here because of it. Oh, when you're... use my bell, but anyway, I just bring that up. I talk about that because I'm here, and there's a lot of chatter and a lot of talk about that in Sudbury and about mining and that, and this is, to me, an excellent solution. But of course, there's people on either side of the argument that have interests in keeping the narrative alive, and I think they should just be ignored. That's another thing. Yeah. Oh, it's snowing. I don't know what it's going to look like. Temperatures are going to drop. We're going to get back to winter. And riding is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was thinking the e-biking was going to take a break in the winter time. Not yet. Definitely in the soft snow. Definitely in the slush. But we cleared paths and cleared roads, and with the snowbanks removed, it'd be just like any other day. So we'll go back, we'll use the tracks, the overhead bridge for the railway. Yeah, there's 1 million trees were planted in this area. Here's a Sudbury junction. Usually it's a pretty busy place. The trains are shuffling back and forth every time I cross. And here we're in Old Downtown, I believe it's called. Yeah, these Schwalbe Ice Spiker are amazing. I think you needed a break-in period, but now they're, man, the roll resistance is like low. Like it's an efficient tire. I wouldn't have expected it to be this efficient. Wait here. Well, anyway, I'll end it here. This was a fun ride, and we'll have a happy new year, Merry 2023, and bye.